Hi, are we? Oh, I just saw it pop up. Hey, we're live. Hello, everyone. I'm Karen from the Crochet Crowd. I'm over here with Colleen. Here he is. Michael.
I'm going to want to know what you two are talking about because all I see is and heads going back.
Nope. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. She is not very personable.
Oh my God, you have a Great Pyrenees?
I do. This is
and you were supposed to show him that. Yes.
She was right here. She just left.
Yes, she has a Great Pyrenees.
Yep, she's going upstairs now.
You'll be
okay. So Karen, take it away. What are we doing?
So we have our crocheter of the evening here, Colleen. Colleen's from Rhode Island. And you started a few years ago, but I'll let Colleen tell you how she got into crochet and all of that stuff. But I am so excited to have you meet Colleen. We had a wonderful conversation leading up to this, and I know she's going to be extremely personable, and everyone's going to love her as much as I do. And yes, she made me giggle. So it's so great. Well, hello everybody who's online. I'm going to stand back a little bit, and I know I'm going to go poof in 2 seconds because that's what he does.
You know, it's so funny. It's so funny because she goes off stage, but I can still see her, and she just laughs along. And when I throw her the bus, I can see the bus hitting her. It's great.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all
so let's
fine.
all just say goodbye to Karen, and here she goes.
Hi, Karen.
Bye.
And Colleen, it's just you and I. I know nothing about you, and you are all smiles. Did you have to clean your yarn room?
No, actually, I did a little tidying up, but no. It's pretty. I'm pretty neat about that because I could I could get pretty sloppy about it, but no, it's pretty organized.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of it. I'm in my little crafting area now, so.
What's banging on your desk? I can hear something banging. Is that you?
It's me, yeah. My arms, my desk opens up, and it's the only way I can sit under is open it up. I'll keep my arms down so it won't keep banging.
Perfect. Yeah. So Rhode Island, where exactly is that? I know it's south of me, but I don't know where it is.
It's south of Massachusetts and next to Connecticut. It's the smallest state.
Okay.
It actually has a very heavy Canadian presence, which I didn't realize. We just moved here 4 years ago. From Massachusetts.
From Massachusetts? Okay.
Yeah. We've lived in 5 different states.
Now, I did a show once in Massachusetts. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. And they said, have you seen the mass holes around here? And I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, these drivers, they're a bunch of mass holes.
Oh, yeah. They are. They're pretty bad. But I'll tell you, Rhode Island drivers are really bad also.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Massachusetts and Boston drivers are pretty bad, yeah.
So what is it about that area that makes you guys a bad driver?
I don't know. I don't drive. So I don't drive. I haven't driven since 2016 because I'm actually blind.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yes. So that's kind of like my story had started about 10 years ago with all of this. But so 10 years ago, I was living in Arizona, my husband and I, and we were hiking, we were running, we were doing all kinds of stuff. We got ourselves fit, and I got an infection, and I found out I have this rare neurological disease called myelin oligodendrocyte glycoprotein antibody disease, or MOG for short, MOG. And it's kind of like, it's like back then, they didn't know much about it at all. There was no testing in the United States until 2018. And this was back in 2015 when I started. And they found out that it's kind of sister to multiple sclerosis, but it attacks a little differently, and the reactions with medication are very different. There are no approved medications. There is no cure. And there's not much being done about it or being researched till just probably 4 years ago now that they really started researching it, and doctors are really interested in it. So it affects my brain, all my nervous system, so my brain, my spine, and my optic nerves. And for me, it attacked my eyes. So I have no vision in my right eye, and my left eye, I just have like central vision. So I have no peripheral vision or anything like that. So that's why I haven't driven in since 2016. But so it's a lot. It's a big challenge because it's a rare disease. There's probably 5,000 or so, between 5,000 and 10,000 people in the U.S. with it. And, they're just doing a lot of research for it. It's a pain in the butt. It's terrible. I mean, I don't know every day if I'm going to wake up, if I'm going to see, or if I'm going to be able to walk, or how it's going to attack me. I just don't know. You just live that day every day. But I don't let it stop me. I keep moving. I try to stay as positive as I can because I have to. I don't have a choice. There's no choice. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let this disease get me. And it did for a little bit because I stopped doing a lot of the things that I used to do because I couldn't do them. I couldn't run. Which I loved doing. I couldn't hike. I couldn't work. I worked with kids. I was a daycare worker. So I worked with 1 and 2 year olds. Well, I couldn't see the babies that were crawling underneath me. So I had to stop working because I was tripping over them or I didn't want to hurt them. And it was tough. It was tough. And in order to not go down that bad negative hole, I had to find something for myself to do again because I just found myself sitting around doing nothing. And my mother-in-law always knitted. She knitted her whole life. And she kept telling me, you got to try knitting. And I'm like, I don't know. So I was like, well, let me try crocheting. I Googled how to crochet and you popped up. Your inspiration popped up and you popped up. And I was like, all right, I watched some of your videos and I thought, okay, if there's anyone that's going to teach me how to crochet, it's going to be this guy. Because, sorry, you're the best gay guy. I know a lot, but you have got the best personality. And I'm like, if there's any gay guy that's going to teach me, it's going to be Mikey. I know it. And you've taught me so much. And the confidence I've had now to do something is more than I did 10 years ago when I was first diagnosed with all of this. It takes me a lot longer to figure out how to crochet. I'm much slower, but I do it. So I don't let this disease bring me down, but it's tough. It's part of my story. It's not my story. It's just a part of my story.
A part of your story. Just 1 second, Colleen. Colleen, can you get that chat group stop talking just for this time frame? That's what's beeping in the computer.
Where is that? Oh, Karen.
Sorry, it's for this was for Karen.
Okay.
We have a neighborhood chat that's going about the tomorrow dinner.
Nice.
What are you bringing? So let me backtrack a little bit. So I was in Ohio and there was this woman that was there and she goes, I hear Mikey. And she was completely blind. She had the stick. And so she goes, I hear him. And so I got to talk with her at the end of this meet and greet. And I was so moved by her because what really pisses me off a lot, Colleen, is that you get people that are blind or vision impaired, and they need the description of the stitches. And so people are like online, just shut up and show it. But she was telling me there, and she goes, you need to keep doing that because for those that are that can't see what you're doing, the way that you're describing it is making it successful. And I had never considered that, but we actually have a significant blind audience, which I never even knew was a thing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, your description, especially what I was trying to do, corner to corner, your description of corner to corner, I go back to it. I don't even know how many times because it's like, it's the best description on how to do it. But yeah, needing those descriptions. And like I said, I still have vision in one eye, so I can see it. Granted, I'm probably like this close to what I'm watching, but I can still see it. And I can feel it when I'm doing it too. And that's a lot. People are like, how do you do it? I'm like, well, I can feel where I'm supposed to be at. And it just clicked with me, which is strange because I don't know, it just seems strange that it clicked so fast on feeling it. And like you said, just hearing the descriptions, but your C to C description was the best one because I got it. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Sense.
You would have probably, my mom is still around, but you would have probably loved my mom. My mom was that woman or basically that mentor in my life that, when somebody is struggling to find their way, to give them that extra little tip that just finally takes a roadblock. Because I used to sit in school and cry because I couldn't understand what the teacher was trying to tell me. And it was like, but then I would go home and my mom would do flashcards and she would do this. And so when I was back at school, I would remember my mom, and it was those, it seems like silly little tips, but it's those tips that can really just push you further. Here in the audience, they're sending their love to you, by the way, for your your story so far. So,
I told Karen, I said, my glasses broke today. The one pair of glasses that I have that work broke today. And so I can't see anything if anybody's putting anything up there. I can't see it. So unless I literally put my face to the screen right now. So yeah, my one pair of glasses broke.
So I saw this. So Lens Mill Stores is a store back in Ontario, and it sells a shitload of yarn. And so they had this woman in there. She's dead now, but her name was Phyllis, and she was called the Yarn Lady. If you ever had a question about yarn, this woman knew it all. And so she had whipped up all the samples that are in the store on her evenings because she was kind of bored of it. But she would watch hockey. So if you ask her anything about hockey, she knew the thing. I asked her, I said, what is the secret to not being able to look at your project? So you were just talking about that. What's the secret if you have to be able to do your stitches?
Again, I feel it. So it takes me a while. I'm slow with it, but I don't care. I get it done. I don't care how long it takes me. I'm going to get it done. I can feel it. And I don't know where it is, but I have, I use a spotlight. So that, makes it much brighter for me because I do need the bright light. And I have a magnifying glass that I can hang around my neck, and it kind of sits here, and that helps a lot. But I think just with practice for me is I feel it. I just feel it, and I just know it. And I really concentrate on that, and I'm literally looking at it. But it's slow. I take my time because I have to look at it.
You know what though? Like, it really bothers me a lot is that in social media and mainstream media, it's all about the speed. And that really pisses me off because
I agree.
Crochet is not supposed to be about the speed. It's supposed to be, in my opinion, it's the journey. And sometimes I get really upset at the end of a project because I'm like, I was enjoying the journey and now it's over.
Yeah, I feel the same way with certain projects. Like, I really love this stitch. It's a great stitch. And I'm like, what else can I do with that stitch? Because I love that stitch. I'm looking forward to learning that new stitch you were talking about. I haven't read it. I don't know what the name of it is. That weird. It's a weird name. With the Tunisian hook, I think it was.
Oh yeah, the entrelac.
Yes. I was like, oh, that looks like a fun stitch. So,
I might be teaching that on a cruise ship, but don't tell anybody.
Oh, okay. Well, I looked at the cruise ship stuff. So I sent my husband the link to the cruise ship because we've always wanted to go to Alaska. And I think actually will be our 40th anniversary that year. So I'm like, So I sent him the link. So we'll see. But,
it's so funny on the cruise ships, Colleen, is that, I know when my hour and a half's over because all the husbands and spouses and friends all arrive and they're all standing at the back of the class. And they're like picking up their spouses like they just taking care of them for like daycare. It's the craziest thing. Yeah. Well, he's got an hour and a half break from you if you decide to come.
Oh no, he's fantastic. He's and my biggest supporter. Obviously, he's my husband. He's a supporter, but he drives me everywhere. He never complains. My whole family. I have a great family support. I am very lucky. My family is very, very supportive with everything because with this disease, also the fatigue and the tiredness and really hits. COVID was tough, not being able to go anywhere because I'm immune compromised because it's an autoimmune disease. So with COVID was really, really tough. And I started teaching myself to crochet right before COVID. And that really helped a lot, having that to do during COVID because I could not go anywhere because I did not want to get sick. I was on a treatment that suppressed my immune system. And so I couldn't go anywhere, and I was masking up before we were masking up because of that. So that was really hard. So he's been the biggest support also, my husband. He's absolutely fantastic. He drives me anywhere and everywhere. I made him go upstairs tonight, though. I'm like, go upstairs because you can't be here while I'm talking. And stuff. So I'm very, very lucky with the support I have from him and my family. So he would be very happy to be there and he wouldn't feel like you were babysitting me. But he also said, that would be kind of fun. I was like, yeah, it would be kind of fun. So we'll see. I had told Karen, I said, I would love to go on these retreats and stuff, but with my abilities and my, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about going anywhere because I know how tired I get, and what can I do and what can't I do? But I was thinking, I was like, but the cruise, it's all on one ship.
It's all there.
It's all right there. I'm like, that wouldn't be too bad. That would be easy. And I use a white cane when I'm out and about by myself, and which right there, that takes a lot of getting used to. And it's funny to see people's reaction because I still have vision, but for me, I use it because if I bump into someone, I can't see anybody over here. I don't know if you're going to come up on the side of me or whatever. And so I use it for that reason. But when I use it, the amount of people that sometimes just look at me when they see me like looking at a phone or looking at clothes or whatever, they're like, how can you see? And I'm like, I just kind of like, I still got vision. I don't tell them that, but, and then I've had people jump over my cane as I'm walking. I'm like, really? I'm like, I just want to whack you and trip you on it because
Colleen, that's when your good eye comes and you just hit them like a baseball bat. Oops, I didn't see it. Just make sure you hit them 5 times to make it count.
Exactly. I have done it. I was like, excuse me. And they're like, oh, sorry. I'm like, don't say sorry. But I was in Ireland this summer with my husband, and they were so polite over there with it. Like, so polite. They were pulling their kids away and moving out of the way. And I was like, this is nice. It was just that kind of nice.
But, I feel like, too, if somebody's using a cane or if somebody's masking, it's none of my business.
I agree the same way. Yeah, it's none of your business. If I use a handicap parking spot and, I get out and I don't always have my cane. If my husband's with me, I don't use my cane, and I get out and you can't tell by looking at me. Like, you cannot tell by looking at me anything's gone. I've had spinal damage, so I get very tired. My legs get very weak.
Sure.
But so, getting out of that in a handicapped spot, people kind of look at you. And I will have to say, I haven't had any bad comments or anything like that. I've read people have had that. I have not come across that, and I'm thankful for that. But yeah, it's none of anybody's business. It's none of anybody's business.
It really isn't. Like, the social media is pretty rough. Like, the amount of comments that people have, I'm like, you're just sitting in your house on a chair just causing so much shit. And it's like, oh my God.
But is it bothering you? No, it doesn't bother me. Go ahead, do what you want to do.
I know. It's hard. It's hard to ignore it, though. It really is.
Yeah,
right?
It is. I totally agree. So,
what's on your hook these days?
Well, so I have a couple of granddaughters, and one just turned 1 the other day, and I have a 3.5-year-old, and she got an American Girl doll. So right now I am making doll clothes. So I just finished this today. I know, she picked out the yarn. So I just
You made all of that today?
No. I started it. What's today? Today's Thursday. I started it Tuesday. So a couple of days worth. So it's not too bad. It's cute. So I did that. So that's what I'm working on for that. And I do want to show you one thing that I made that this is my pride. This is what I've done. Like I was in Ireland in the summer and I bought some yarn over there. I'm like, I'm not going to buy a sweater. I'm going to make myself a sweater. Yeah, making a sweater is not that easy. I had the hardest time doing it. And I don't even know how many times I frogged it out. I was like, I can't do this one. I tried a different one. I couldn't do it. But so I finally found one. It's not a sweater. It's a wrap. But I don't know if we'll be able to see it because it's pretty big.
Wow.
But so it's a pretty big wrap. So this took me a very long time. I think I finished this in November and I started it in August. So this took me a couple of months. And
it's a pocket wrap.
It's a pocket one. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love this. Is like my pride. I was so excited that I got to do that. I finally finished this.
The community online are commenting on how cute your little American Girl dress was.
Oh, thank you. It is adorable. I was so excited for that when it came out. So cute. It's super easy. So I've been working on a lot of doll clothes for her. And then my next thing though that I'm trying to do is I want to learn how to quilt. Oh, I love quilts. I know it's a lot. Trust me.
Well, nothing is stopping you. I am really impressed, Colleen. Nothing's stopping you.
I'm trying not to let it. The only thing that does stop me is trying to thread the damn needle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Trust
God.
me.
Oh my God. And I have a self threader, and even that's not easy. And but I'm going to do it. I don't care how long it takes me to thread the needle. I'm going to do it. So quilting is my next big thing I want to try.
Do you have any workshops or anything like that? Because we have those here. Yeah.
I do. This was for this year. So I said 2025, I'm going to work on quilting. I'm going to try to figure out how to quilt. I'm a visual learner, despite the fact that I don't see that well. I've always been a visual learner. So a lot of YouTube videos and things like that, those are really helpful. The videos are really, really helpful for me because I can watch it on repeat and I put it up on my big screen TV and that's easy too. But I don't know. I haven't looked into if I have Joanne's and Michael's nearby me. So I don't know if either one of them have any quilting classes. I haven't looked into it fully yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's something I want to do. So yeah, but I'll never give up crocheting. So like I say, I have treatments every month that I get for my disease. I have a port that's been in my chest for 4 years that we use. And I was telling Karen that is my 15 hours a month of uninterrupted crochet time. And that's where I worked on my wrap most of the time.
Well, no wonder you're tired. Jesus.
Yeah. I just had my treatment last week because Karen wanted me to do last week, but I was like, I have treatment. I can't. I know I get tired and I get really bad headaches from it. It just leaves me with bad migraines. So I do that. So I will always crochet for those 15 hours of uninterrupted crochet time. No husband to bother me, no dogs to come down. So
okay, so you're stranded on an island. What color of yarn would you be able to be content with?
It would have to be blues.
Blues?
Yeah, blues are my favorite. I have a lot of blues. You can't see them in the corner over there, and we have a lot of girls in the family. So I'm like, I can't make any boy blankets because nobody's having any boys. We have a lot of girl babies, so
I can a really bad story about that, but I'm gonna save it. And Karen's like, thank God.
But I know I can make a blue blanket for a boy. I have no problem doing that. I was just gonna say, not that I wouldn't make a blue blanket for a boy at all, because I'm not. Nope, I'm gender neutral. Whatever anybody is fine. However they want it, doesn't bother me one bit. But
now, on the community on the side here, apparently Jeannie's here with us today. She apparently is learning how to quilt. I can just see her rubbing her nasty fingers all over the bumps of the quilting.
Oh! I started one
stitches.
I started one square today. That's about as much as I've gotten done today.
Fun. So here in the group, so those that are watching us are saying, I think purple is coming up quite a bit for what people's favorite color was. Jane apparently is working on miniatures and diamond art. Have you tried any of that stuff?
No. I don't know if I could do that. I've seen it done. I don't know. I think I like the fact, like, crocheting, it takes me a while, but I feel more satisfied doing something like that.
Yes, for sure. Sure.
I love doing amigurumi because it's something quick too. Sometimes, you can do something. I like a quick solution to things. Sometimes I just need to have something finished. Yes. And like working on my wrap, I'm like, I need to do something that's going to finish because that's taking me so long. And so I like to do something that's quick and easy to do. So I don't know why I'm starting quilting, because it's not going to be quick and it's not going to be easy. So, but we'll try.
The way I look at it, the U.S. at one point wanted to go to the moon, and it wasn't going to be quick and it wasn't going to be easy. And they did it.
Yep. So
I know. If you go to the moon, you can damn well quilt.
Oh, I know I can damn well quilt. I know I can. I know it's going to take a long time, but again, I don't care. It's not how fast I do it. It's the process. And
exactly.
Yeah. And I always tell everybody, anything I make, it's perfectly imperfect, because nothing's going to be perfect for me no matter what I do. And it's perfectly imperfect. And I like it. And I think perfectly imperfect for homemade items are the way it should be. I don't think homemade items are absolutely perfect.
One of the things that I struggle with, Colleen, is that, some people, when they run into an error on the pattern, or maybe the pattern isn't wrong, it's the user error, but people have a hard time getting past that moment. And then other people say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to get myself back on track, and there's an error in here. And eventually I'll forget there's an error in there, and I'll keep moving on with my life. And I think being perfect is overrated, for sure.
Oh, I totally agree. I know there's errors in my wrap, and I know there's errors but you know what? I can't see it. And nobody else who doesn't know how to crochet is not going to see it or understand it anyway, so it's okay.
Well, I don't know about that, because Karen did this blanket that was here. We're going to bring Karen back onto the stage. Here she comes. And here
Don't you start being, that is just not right. That is just not right. I like Colleen's attitude towards it's a don't worry about it. You just don't worry about it.
Are we going to share my story or not there, Karen? So Colleen, she made this blanket for her kid. And anyway, it looks like lined paper with the holes for the thing. And so anyway, she has not been able to identify sometimes the stitches versus in between the stitches. And so as soon as I see it, I'm like, oh. And I said, I hope to God, whatever you're putting on top of this blanket, that the word happens to go over that spot.
And it did.
But the thing is,
the 2 times in the same row that I did that, yes.
Your client, whoever you made it for, probably doesn't know that those stitches are missing or whatever.
No. Exactly. No, she calls it the passive aggressive gift. Because it was lined paper and I embroidered on it, call your mother.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So the embroidery covered those little pieces, but yes, the passive aggressive gift. I'm with you. I and every time I was just going to say, as you're talking about imperfection, I'm like, unless you live next door to Michael, and then he points it all out to you.
Yeah. No.
Okay, and she's gone. So that's that's the Canadian hospitality, passive aggressive, right? So I find it hard. Like when I go to, we call it group. Oh my God, Colleen, our ladies group that we have, crochet group or stitch group or whatever the hell we do on Wednesdays, we are so bad. Like we are so bad when we're there.
That looks like so much fun. And I thought, I'm like, you got to find one, but go ahead. Tell me how bad.
So anyway, these women, I learned so much about things at this particular group. And I was like, holy cow. So anyway, I confirm my homosexuality, your favorite gay host online every Wednesday with the stories that we shared. But, my good friend Kelly that sits beside me, she barely gets anything done.
Chatting and gabbing.
Meanwhile, I crochet a whole thing and she's got 3 lines of something done. And I said, you know what? I don't think it matters at the end of the day. It's all about the community connection for those 3 hours, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. And that's how I feel. Like I found in my community, even just listening to you on YouTube or reading the comments on the Facebook pages, like that's a community, and it's not a medical community, which, I have a lot of those medical communities. And, I'm lucky for me. I've been relapse free for 4 years now, and I've had 9 attacks on my eyes. So, so for 4 years being relapse free is pretty good. And so I don't want those medical communities anymore. I need other communities. So that's why, this crochet group is my community. It's a different community, and I like this community. And I'm going to look into a workshop for the quilting because I know I'm going to need that one-on-one or that physical help, that instructions or whatever. So that'll be a community. But you're right, having a community that takes you away from you every day is so helpful, and for someone who I've always worked with kids, and I loved working with kids, and it's been my life. Kids and special ed kids have been my life. It's what I've always done, and not being able to work has been awful. People always say, oh, you get to stay home. Like, no, you don't know what I would give to have to go to work every day. I take care of my grandkids twice a week, which is very nice, and it's helpful for them and me. But, oh, no, I'd much rather be working, And I do remember before going, oh, I wish I didn't have to work. And now it's like, oh, my God, I wish I could work, because that's a community also. And I worked in the school system. And last week you were talking with Shanice about you did with a special ed group of Where's Mikey? I love that idea. I was like, oh, that is awesome. Because I worked in special ed for about 10 years as an assistant, and I loved it. And it was awesome. And that, I'm like, that would have been a great thing to do with some of these kids and stuff. So, people are like, oh, you get to stay home. No, I'd much rather work.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but Diane that does all the closed captioning for the videos that ends up converting it to 300 languages.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
She's actually a retired school teacher, and she worked with special needs. And so when I met her back in 2014, she was so low key in the crochet. It was our second ever crochet cruise. She was so low key, but there was like something off with her, meaning like there's something about her that she doesn't need to be the spotlight of the party. And so anyway, so I found myself, she actually is the one that taught me entrelac. And so if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to teach it online. And so she sat with me to do that. And we had such quiet moments. And so there became a need in 2015 of like closed captioning, because closed captioning online, it has to be closed captioned if it ever appears on television, but it's not a requirement. And she goes, I would love to do that. And so because she worked with special needs, she knew how important that was. Yeah. And so she has closed captioned over 5,000 videos, 5,000. And it takes her 11 minutes to close caption 1 minute of time.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
I'm very conscious of when I'm talking is like, God, if I mansplain Colleen, this woman is going to sit through like a half hour of 3 minutes.
Yeah, but sometimes you need a mansplain just to get the laughs. Like for us women, you guys mansplain, we just humor you and say, go ahead, we'll take it, I'll listen.
Your name must be Karen, as in my neighbor.
We'll listen. We'll stroke that ego if you need it.
Oh, please. Do I come across that way?
No, not at all. That's one of the best things I loved about you, is that you don't. You come across very everyday, easygoing. You leave your flubs in, you leave your bloopers in, and I loved that. And no, you don't. And you don't. I don't feel you mansplain anything. If you do, I don't pay attention to it. But no, you don't. You don't come across that way. You're very easygoing, which I think is why I connected with you so quickly, because I watched a bunch of other ones, but no, I just kept coming back to you because you're very easygoing. And yeah.
So Michael MDL is on chat. So I was doing a Christmas special with him, and he was the host. And Ola J is here. Ola J and the Fruit Flies Xmas special. Oh, Xmas Bonanza, which turned into a 5-hour shit show of fun. And so I was telling them, like, one of the things that I had to learn as a host is know when to shut up and just do that. So Daniel says, you need to shut up. And I'm like, I want to talk. He goes, you need to shut up. And I realized that my cue to shut up is when I need to take a big breath, because I realize I've used all my oxygen up.
I sometimes need to do that, especially when I'm talking about crocheting. People are like, oh my God. I'm like, all right, I'll stop. Because I was telling my sisters about the tonight's video, and my sister's like, watching crochet on YouTube live, get me some popcorn. I'm like, oh no. I was like, no, it's not crocheting, but I could watch it for 5 hours a day on YouTube. Although lately I've been watching this, it's called A Girl with a Dog. She's from Niagara, Canada, and she does dog washing and cat washing. Oh my God, I could watch her videos all night long. Just washing dogs. I don't know why, but it just makes me laugh.
You need to come up with a better reason if you're going to open that kind of story up. Is it fingers going through the hair? Is it the soap?
I don't know. It's watching all the hair come off, because she did a Newfoundland, a Pyrenees the other day, and the white, they're white. Well, this one was not quite white, and the dirt coming off him and the hair flying all over the place. Like, oh my God. Yeah, no, I think.
Oh my God. Calling other people in the community saying they love her and they love what
oh, good.
Where have I been of not washing my dog?
Exactly. Oh my God, she's awesome. That's so funny. So like I said, Bonnie, you saw a little bit of Bonnie. She's a Great Pyrenees, but she's a mix, so she has pointer and something else mixed in it. But she doesn't have all the fur, and I'm like, oh, thank God, because she sheds enough as it is for one dog. And I have another dog. I have a Bonnie and Clyde. So Clyde is my Corgi Shepherd mix. So he's small, but he sheds also. And so yeah, I don't know how you deal with the shedding from Salty and Puppy Dog.
It's hell.
How many vacuum cleaners have you gone through?
2.
Oh, okay.
And we have a central vac, and that thing just says "fuck you" when I try to put in the plug. It says, I'm not sucking up any more dog.
I can't even imagine.
It's hell. It really
Yeah.
is. You know, somebody emailed me a few weeks ago and said, "Well, what do you do with dog hair? Get rid of the dog." Like, what do you expect, right? Like, that's what
exactly. You come in my house, you're gonna have dog hair on you. That's the way it is. If you don't like it, don't come in my house.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep a little lint brush near the door. Here you go.
Oh, I wouldn't be that kind. Mind you, we have a rule that we don't allow people in the house.
Oh, all right, that's a good rule.
Yeah.
Well, Bonnie doesn't allow people in the house either because she barks at everybody.
Yeah. I don't know how we actually came up with that rule. It just happened naturally. Because I think our lives are so exposed on social media that you have to have some space that. Now we're having a Nova Scotia tour this year coming up, and people are going to be able to come into my house, and I'm like, Daniel's flipping out. I'm flipping out too.
Oh, but I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Make sure you take pictures of everything you have so nobody steals anything.
Well, you know, I'm worried that people are going to go in my damn yarn room and start shopping.
Exactly. Lock them up. Get little baby-proof locks.
I'm going to I'm going to tie their hands together and they can walk through my house. Because I get email and it says, you know, that yarn ball that is like on the shelf to your right, 2 down, and it's this color. Can you mail that to me?
You know, when you talk about that, what people want and expect, I'm like, really? How can you expect him to always send you stuff for free or not want to have to pay? I'm like, this is his job. It's his service. It's what he offers you. You shouldn't ask for things for free. Oh, I was appalled when you were talking about that. I'm like, I can't understand that. I just can't understand it.
Like a lot of people expected when I was starting out on this whole thing, they expected I was in the US and I was in California because I was on YouTube because it was so new. And they had no idea that just because you like, I've never had kids. So my money goes towards the yarn and the dogs and Daniel's whims and gardening and more Daniel and more Daniel and more Daniel.
Gardening's awesome.
But you know, everybody's lives are set up differently, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you. Yeah, you got your kids are your dogs, and apparently Daniel's gardening, which is awesome, by the way.
It really is. I wouldn't want to do it if anything happens to that man. I am going to take a blower to that thing and level up. I'm never going to be able to keep it up.
The whole pond, watching that whole pond go in, that was very cool.
Oh, that's been hell. That has been hell. Because it was leaking, and then we did it, and then it leaked in. Oh, Colleen, the drama.
Oh, I can't imagine. No, that was very cool. I love watching all of that.
So, what's your best advice? What's your best human advice then to give somebody?
It's kind of a more recent thing. So my mom has dementia. She's doing good. She remembers all of us. She's early stages of it, but her thing, live your life, make your memories. Because it's all you have. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel. Like, and live your life, make your memories, take those pictures. Doesn't matter what you look like, take the damn picture. Because it's all you're going to have. And for me, my big one right now is I stay positive. With everything I've gone through in the past 10 years, I have not lost my positivity. And I didn't have it always before that. When we moved to Arizona, I was very low self-esteem. I had no self-esteem, and I was never confident in myself, never thought I could do anything. And my husband and I, we started hiking and we started running, and I lost 80 pounds, and it was great. And I just felt my best. And I was doing so good. And I gained that confidence that I never knew I had. And with this disease and this hitting me, sometimes I get a little brain fog. So I get the connections don't quite make hit all the time. So I pause for a little bit sometimes. But getting that confidence in myself and then getting hit with this disease, I was like, I cannot lose that confidence in myself. And I haven't. And that has been my big focus, is not to lose that confidence in myself and to stay positive. So I guess what I would say for me, my thing is really stay confident, keep that positivity, because you don't know when something's going to happen. I wake up every day hoping I'm going to wake up and see, and everyone's like, oh, that's dramatic. No, it's not dramatic for me, because this disease can hit me without knowing. They don't know why it attacks. So I have to stay positive. I don't have a choice to not be positive. Doesn't mean I don't have my bad days, because I have bad days. I just don't let them rule my life. I take my bad days and I tuck them away after, and then the next day is better. I just have to have it be that way.
So Joanne has a great question. Are you an emotional eater? And if so, how do you overcome that?
I'm not. I used to be. So I used to be. Before we moved to Arizona, I was. I moved to Arizona and we changed our life. Our kids had grown and moved out of the house, and we changed our life, and it was just my husband and me. And that was what we hadn't had for a long time, because he worked away from the house. He was gone for almost a weekend every week, and then come home on the weekends. So I raised the kids, pretty much by myself, but it was our choice, and that was fine. But then when we started getting healthy back in Arizona and doing all of that, I stopped that. And so, no, I'm not. I've gained a lot of my weight back, but a lot of it's medication. A lot of my medications, because a lot of steroids. Steroids are a necessary evil. They put so much weight on, and it's pain in the butt. And some of the other medications I take for nerve pain can do that. So I don't. I'm not anymore. I just know it doesn't help. I know it's not right for me. I know it's not good. So I'm not anymore. I don't know. I don't know how to say I stopped it. We just changed our lifestyle, and that made the difference for me.
You brought up a really good point there. Part of our move to Nova Scotia, Colleen, is that our lives were kind of circling a drain. And it's like, sometimes you just got to pick up and just say, screw it, I'm on to something new. And it is really hard to come to that conclusion, but sometimes that's the only way to do that. I was in the closet for a long time because I actually didn't understand what was wrong with me to begin with. But it's like, when you have that final, like, I need to do something and it has to be drastic. Sometimes that's the only choices you have, right?
Yeah. That was our thinking also, is that he had worked for so many years away from us, and we weren't connecting with each other. And like I said, our kids were grown, they were out of the house, and we needed a change. I had just spent years taking care of my dad, who had been really sick, and he had passed. And I was like, we need a change for us. And that changed to not our family. I come from a very big family. I'm one of 8, and we were all close. And he's got a small family. He's one of 4, but both his sisters have cerebral palsy. They both have special needs, and so moving away from all of them was hard, and nobody really liked it. Nobody understood what we needed to do. And after a year of us being there and just seeing the transformation that both of us had gone through, they were like, now we get why you had to move there. They saw the difference in us. And that finally you guys understood what we needed to do. We needed to connect with each other again. I needed to find out who I was. And and so it was tough. It was not easy. And moving back was hard to come back. We came back medical reasons, because with my disease, the doctors, I had great doctors out in Arizona. We lived in California for a year also, so I had very great doctors, but you can't beat Boston doctors here. You just can't beat them. And we needed to be back with our family just for that support for me. And we're both very glad we did it. We're both very, very glad we came back. I would take the Arizona weather again in a heartbeat, but I'll be here, because I do not like the cold weather. So I don't know how you do it up there in Nova Scotia during these winter months.
Please, we're Canadian. We're born with polar bears and a big sweater.
I am a big wimp when it comes to being cold. Nope. Give me the heat. So moving back was hard.
Okay, seriously, Colleen, it's probably colder where you are now than it is where we are.
I think so.
It has been very cold down here, so I've been hibernating. I will hibernate for the winter. I'm not lying. I hibernate in the winter time.
Oh, it's not that bad here, honestly. East Coast weather is East Coast weather, but honestly, because especially where we are, right, Michael, and because we're like the island province, well, we aren't, but we're close to it. It's pretty tempered here. So you're colder.
You guys are a little bit more east than us too. as far as like lining up. So, but no, I'm thankful that Bonnie sleeps on my side of the bed every night before I go up to bed. So, but
Oh, it's great to hear any Pete.
Yeah, she's awesome. But we have an argument every single night. I go up to bed and she looks at me like, "What?" I'm like, "You need to get off my bed." She will not move for anything, and every single night is the same argument. My husband just laughed every night.
Are you talking about a dog? Is this
yes?
A dog? Oh,
she's
okay.
talking about the dog, not the husband.
Bonnie the dog. Yes, Bonnie. Not my husband. Bonnie. Every night I have to fight with Bonnie to get off the bed so I can get in bed every single solitary night.
So how many times does your dogs get out of bed at night?
She sleeps up there. She doesn't sleep up there. She gets off the bed. She doesn't stay there. She leaves.
Ours go out 4 times a night.
Oh no, ours do not. They go out. Their last out is around 9:30.
Hell, Colleen, hell.
Nope. And if they have to go out in the middle of the night, my husband gets up and does it. I don't do it.
Yeah.
So, but no, Bonnie likes to sleep downstairs because she's a garter. She barks at everything and anything.
Mm-hmm.
But she's petrified of the vacuum cleaner. She will not go anywhere near the vacuum cleaner. But if a leaf blows, she's barking. If God forbid the mailman, our poor mailman has tried to like her from the first day he met her, and nope. From the first day when she was 12 weeks old, she barked and attacked him like she was going to kill him. Poor guy can't do anything. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like us gay guys, that we have a few of them here in the chat. I can tell. We see a vacuum and we see something sucking and we get excited.
Oh, stop now. Stop it. MC. That's what
It's a party time. Hoover. You bring your Electrolux, I'll bring the Hoover, and we'll have a good time.
Have a good old time.
We'll have a gay old time. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Speaking of dogs, there's my
Yep.
Papillon.
That's hers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Karen, I don't know if you know this, but Karen is actually babysitting a dog that is from the West, from Calgary.
From Alberta. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's my niece's dog. She's a little itty bitty little Papillon.
Oh, a little
French little thing. But
And it's got the longest tongue I've ever seen.
And the best tail.
Something I would be happy with, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
That's all good.
I actually have French Canadian in my blood. I'm half French Canadian.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Oh my God.
I know. I say that knowing that I'm going to get, yeah. It's not real.
You know, those French men up there in Quebec, or Quebec.
Hot. Nice.
Yeah. Bathwater drinkable. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh. I don't know my mom was in Skowhegan, Maine, so I don't know. I know that's pretty close to the border, but I don't know where in Canada it's close to. But yeah, she was. Yeah, she was somewhere. Yeah,
New Brunswick, probably.
Oh,
So
probably.
when you're yarn shopping, then back to crochet for a few moments.
Yes.
But do you have like a sign up at your local store like Karen does that she's banned?
Not yet. I do like to do a lot of online shopping because again, I can't just drive to the store by myself. But so I like to do a lot of online shopping. But but I probably will be for quilting soon because I need a lot of fabric.
Now you know that Yarn Inspirations is doing an up to 70% off sale right now, right?
Oh, I am. I went through yesterday looking, going, stop it. You're quilting this week.
I have now shopped 3 times on that sale.
Yeah, I bought like $500 worth, and
Yeah,
but that works at $352 US.
I could easily do, but I'm like, but also I need other ideas. Like for me, I'm one that if I have an idea, I'll buy the yarn for it. I have to have an idea to buy the yarn for to do it.
Oh yeah, I have lots of ideas. They just don't get done.
And it's which one am I going to do?
Let me show you this pattern that just has me like. I told Karen because I'm going to print this because
I want to do this, Michael. Figure it out so we can do it. Okay.
I don't know how
I'm going to need a good one for next month when I go to treatment again. I need my 15 hours.
Honey, it's good.
Crochet time.
Chop, Michael. This will be a good one.
I know. I'm printing it. Jesus. I mean, Anyway, I saw this new pattern today that just absolutely. I don't even know how it's done. So I'm going to have to figure it out.
Okay.
If I print it
do it for next month. You got 3 weeks.
Are you going to show it?
Yes, I'm printing it so I can show you.
You're
Okay.
printing it. It's pretty cool. It's done with the blanket, so it's kind of
Blanket
cool.
yarn. And so anyway, they gave us information on how to change the size to make it a palliative care size.
Oh, did they? Oh, good.
I have done a few of those. Yeah, I have done a few. I like doing the chevron one for that because it works up pretty quick and easy.
I don't know if you can see this, but it is.
Hold on.
Oh yeah. Get her broken glasses, Michael. Broken
Oh
glasses.
yes, I know.
So it's just granny. It's just a granny stitch.
And I like that because it's kind of a repeat, and repeats are really easy for me because I don't have to keep looking at what I'm doing.
But let me show you what it looks like. Hang on. Where?
Yeah, you got to get right in there. Get right in there.
Oh, I like that.
I've never seen a stitch do that before.
No, I like it too.
that.
Turn it out. We can all do it together.
Yeah, and
Now I just saw this for the first time today, and I'm like, I don't care. I want to do it, and I want to do a full one. I just don't want to do a tutorial like little swatch.
You want to do
So
a full
anyway, it's on our website as of tonight. It was called the Diamond Delight Crochet Granny.
Delight. Okay, Kevin, write that down. Diamond Delights.
Anyway,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know. That'll be a good one because, like I said, repeats are really easy for me because I don't have to keep looking at what I'm doing. I don't have to keep looking at the pattern. So I do like repeat ones. So
yes,
yeah.
And sometimes you just want to watch TV. So what's the thing to watch on TV?
Oh, right now I'm watching on Apple TV Before with Billy Crystal. Oh, it's so good. Before, yes.
Who's Billy Crystal?
Oh, he's an American actor.
Are you kidding me right now?
What would I know?
Oh, you're gonna ask.
When Harry Met Sally?
Yeah, When Harry Met Sally.
He's old. He's been in movies for like decades.
I know. What's a cowboy one that he was in?
Oh,
I have a horrible memory for movies and TV shows. So
he's a comedian, Michael.
Yeah, he's a comedian. He was on Saturday Night Live, which you probably don't see. Yeah, I can't remember the movie. Yeah, he's great. But anyways, so that's a really good psychological thriller, which I like.
Okay.
That one's good. And we just
City Slickers.
City Slickers. Okay.
City Slickers. Yes, that was a really good one.
City Slickers.
Yes,
That was another one he was in.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's really good. So I'm watching that.
The Princess Bride, of course.
Oh,
Michael
yeah, right.
Karen made
didn't like
me
that
watch
movie.
that. What was that? Was that the Tara Tara one?
No, that was not the Tra one. It was the As You Wish.
I'm not a big fan of it either. So.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Okay.
I wasn't a big fan of it.
Somebody says do the orgasm scene for Mikey. He has to know it.
Oh.
Hang on. And flip. Okay, go ahead.
Don't forget to bang the table.
What are we talking about?
Nothing.
Is this on a show?
Yes.
That was on
When Harry Met Sally.
Oh. Somebody says, Cheryl says, I'll have what she's having.
That's what they say.
Exactly. After she has,
I'll have what she's having. They're in a
I have seen that on the reels. I have seen that on the reels. It's in a restaurant, right?
Yes.
You've not seen that movie either? I really need to.
That's a good one. That's a good. That's an old one though, so that's old.
She likes old stuff.
Yeah. She likes you, right?
God. What's that?
I said she likes you, right?
He's not commenting because I'm older than he is.
You want to hear, Colleen? Do you want to hear some gossip? Oh God, now Jeannie's like, yes. So it turns out that Karen and I were sharing information, and one of her past roommates ends up being somebody that ends up being related to the guy that my mom ended up dating and then actually marrying afterwards. And it turns out that she was living with one of the family members of this guy that my mom ends up marrying in the future. And I'm like, oh shit, are we actually related?
Oh my God.
Kind of true.
Yeah.
That is true. My mother-in-law and I have the same maiden name, and our fathers have the same name. We grew up in the same town, and my father actually had her in high school. He was a high school teacher for a while. So you want to talk about coincidences?
Well, you're keeping it in the family, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I know, it's so strange. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so yeah.
So tonight we have learned how Colleen had a setback 10 years ago and is tromping through that son of a bitch, and then ends up wanting to start to learn to quilt and to take her issues and kind of just work with it and try to go on with life.
Yep. That's what
You know
I
how
do.
remarkable that is?
Thanks. It's every day. It's what you do, you know.
I don't know if you really understand that, like, because I meet a lot of people, and when they hit a roadblock like that, they are stuck.
Yeah. No, I can't be.
So I find you very admirable. Just
thank you.
I think here in the community, what you've shared tonight has been, I think everybody. Sometimes you have to hear somebody else's story to be able to say, you know what, maybe something in my life is not as bad as I thought it was.
Right. I agree that, because I think that, because, I think what I'm going through, and I'm like, it could be worse. It could be worse. And I'm grateful for what I've done. I'm grateful for my doctors and my treatment, even though it's, it's a non-approved treatment, but I'm grateful for the advances that's been made so far. And you have to just accept that. You have to just accept it. You just have to be grateful for what you have, whether it's better than what anybody else had or not. Doesn't matter. And I don't begrudge or belittle anyone for anything else, even if it's a small little, they feel, oh, but yours is so much worse. No, what you're going through is worse also. It doesn't matter what it is. What you're going through right then and there is worse for you because it's happening now. I don't care what it is, and no, what I've gone through is what I've gone through, but everybody else goes through things, and it's how you get through it, and how you deal with it, and how you live with it, and how you pass that on to other people of what you're doing. Like my positivity. I've been on some patient panels for my disease, and they always say, you're so positive. I'm like, I have to share that positivity because you have to stay positive. You just have to. For me, there's no alternative. And unfortunately for people, there are alternatives. And I don't want that for anybody, no matter what we're going through. You can't have that alternative, and I just, no. I have to be. And it's just what I do. Everyone's like, how do you do that every day? I'm like, I don't have a choice. That's what I have to do every day. I don't have a choice.
Sometimes when I'm not feeling so hot, Colleen, sometimes I go on social media just to remind myself my life doesn't suck that bad. I meant that in love, right?
No, I know exactly what you mean, though. I get it. I totally get it. When you had your intervention, I thought, oh, this is terrible. This one person should not be feeling like this is you, because the joy, I know, I said the joy you brought me to teach me how to crochet is a lot. That's a lot for me, because you taught me how to do this. Unbeknownst to you taught me, and the joy that I get now when I give people what I make, because I don't keep anything for myself. My wrap is the only thing I made. Oh no, I did the study of joy with you. That one blanket, I did that. So those are the two things I've only kept for myself. I give everything away because it brings me joy to give it away. So you've brought me joy. So the joy you're bringing to everybody when I give everything away is more than you know.
It's kind of funny, like all the tutorial samples, they end up going to the Family Resource Center, and also to the dialysis and other organizations here. And sometimes I just have it. I feel good when I give away yarn, but you know what? We actually had somebody ask me if I could ship yarn, God knows where. And I'm like, you know what? There's such a need in this community for the yarn that it doesn't need to be shipped a gazillion miles to get somewhere to make a difference. Like, because the difference really, and one of the things that I've come to learn in this whole industry is that we used to before ship us some stuff and we'll donate it locally here. And I thought, God, and I really thought about it. And I'm like, that is so selfish, because they're shipping stuff out of their own community where it can really actually benefit their community.
Oh yeah,
Right.
definitely. Oh, definitely. I know. I got a lot of benefit when my mother-in-law passed away last year. She was a knitter. I got all her yarn. I was like, yeah, give me all your yarn. So, but I'm using her yarn to
Oh
make.
my God! Thank God she died there, Colleen.
She was like, take all my yarn, take all my yarn. She's like, you will appreciate my yarn. So I did. So I've got my mother-in-law. I love my mother-in-law. We got along fantastic. I was with her through her hospice. I stayed with her. I love my mother-in-law. She's absolutely positive, fantastic, best lady in the world. Lost an angel.
I'd be very concerned if I got one foot in the grave yet. You'd be knocking on my door for the yarn.
She's in hospice and she's like, "Are you taking my yarn?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going through it when I go home at night. What do you think I'm doing?" Yep. Does anyone that wanted me to do that was my mother-in-law, Jenny. I absolutely love my mother-in-law. She was the best, the absolute best. So yeah. So giving my stuff away and making it. I made a lot of palliative care blankets. You know, I've done that. I've done a lot of hats and mittens, and not mittens, and scarves, and donated those to the homeless here and things like that. And when my mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer, which she passed of, I made I don't know, it was like 30 hats for the family, and her name was Ginny, but her real name is Grace, and I put a little tag that said "Amazing Grace" on everybody's hat, so everybody had a hat to wear because she lost her hair with cancer treatments. So we all had hats to wear. So you know, that right there, that was something that just made me feel good to do something for her that just made her smile. You know,
there was a community comment that it says, "I can't afford to give things away. Don't hate me for it. I'm a working adult in my household right now."
No,
honestly,
not at all.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
And if you can afford to give it away, great. And if you cannot, there should not be any guilt about that.
No. Do it for yourself. You're helping yourself. Nobody's saying you have to give it away.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you're not doing
it. Just gives me joy.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're not doing good. You're doing good for you, and that's what matters.
I'll leave you with a quick story there, Colleen. So my friend ends up making a housewarming gift for her neighbor that moves in. And anyway, so it turns out that she made her a toilet roll cover as part of the basket for the a welcome. And anyway, I guess the woman did not know what it was. But anyway, the summer rolls around and this woman is outside wearing the toilet roll thing as a hat, as a sun hat. And do you think my friend said anything? Absolutely not, because it gave her joy.
That neighbor was not me, by the way. Just saying.
Oh my God. Talk about a shit story.
That is a great story.
So, Colleen, thank you so much for joining me tonight and leaving us with something to think about.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I really appreciated this. I was very nervous, and I don't know why I was. It was very easy talking to you and stuff, and I'm glad to do it. I was I hope everyone can stay positive. That's what I want. I hope everyone can stay positive.
Well, you're definitely living in dreamland, that's for sure.
It's a great land to live in, I'll tell you that much.
You know, I feel like Miss Congeniality at the end of the show. I just want people to have world peace. I just want to crochet and be happy. I don't want to be fighting about every little stupid thing.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it really isn't. And I found as I've gotten older, is like the things that would make me flip out when I was 30, I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, they'll figure it out on their own.
Yep, I did find that out. You know, getting diagnosed with a rare chronic illness will certainly put you in that perspective, because, you know, when I first Googled this disease, it's like you have a 5-year life expectancy. I'm like, shut that Google. I didn't want to look at that thing again, you know, and that's what the diagnosis was. 10 years ago, you had 5 years to live. And I was like, oh, I'm living my life then. I am, screw what anybody says or does. I'm living my life. I'm going to do what I need to do. And thank God my husband feels the same way with me. Because
you're very lucky to have that support. So on behalf of our community, Colleen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And
thank you for having me.
Getting our new mystery guest. We'll be back here next week.
Yes.
Same time. She's got another guest lined up.
I do, and guess what? I'm going to give you a little tease.
Oh, hang on. I got to hold down my nipples because I'll pop out.
I'm going to bend down.
No, that's okay. I'm going to keep. No, I don't want to get you too excited. It's okay. But
That's
I
the
do
team.
see but I do see a couple of future guests in the chat today.
Oh, nice.
So they're just getting their feet wet so they don't get completely.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't read any of those chats, people, but thank you so much.
Yes. Thanks, Colleen. We appreciate you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Michael, as always.
Yes.
And
thank you so
thank
much.
you all for joining us tonight. And we hope to see you next Thursday for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All righty.
And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, the link, Wendy's been providing the link for you.
Yep.
And we will see you again next Thursday, 7:00 Eastern.
Thanks, Colleen.
Thanks, Colleen.
Yep,
bye, everyone.
How do I end this?
Press leave studio.
Keep smiling. Hold still and smile.
Bye.